So the few tidbits we picked up from LAPD officers, possible DUI suspect, a possible media stunt, but at this point that guy in that green Ford convertible just waving to folks as he drives down Reseda Boulevard. Some folks are gathering on the corners. They've heard about this thing, so they're coming outside waving right back at him. Fortunately, it's going along at very slow speed, so it's not exactly a danger to the community right now. If he makes a little bit of a turn, LAPD officers, I'll show you their proximity to the car right now. We'll open up the shot for you just a bit. They're in prime position. If they see that guy try to make a turn, they can move right in. These pit maneuvers work very well at or under 35 miles per hour, where a cruiser will come up with their push bar, and they'll approach the rear quarter panel of the vehicle as he goes into that turn and try to spin him out of control.
Yeah, Bill, very odd pursuit. This is one of the stranger ones we've seen. And you're right, it could be a media stunt, but we just don't know. But it seems like he's at least following some of the rules of the road.
Well, he's going way under the speed limit, but
true.
yeah, granted, this one is far less dangerous than other pursuits that we have seen. And it does beg the question, does this person have some weird objective here, or is he unstable? or something in between. You know, it does bring to mind, remember that stunt on one of our major freeways, I think it was the 405 even, when that rock band got out and did a quick concert on their freeway, on their bus, and stopped traffic, and they thought it was a great idea. Clearly nobody else did, and they were arrested eventually. I can't recall if they served some time for that, but they definitely got in a lot of trouble. 101 near Sunset is where that happened, I'm being told by Joe. In our ear.
And he could have gotten on the freeway. Thank goodness he chose to just stay on these surface streets and continue the slow.
Good shot of his sign right there. It says Victory Parade, and as we've been watching him, and he's waving to people, but with a victory sign, saying hello to anybody who will give him attention. It's you know, when somebody has this objective, you wonder when do they decide to start it. I'm going to begin at so-and-so a place. I'm going to go for so-and-so long, and then just keep on going. His top is down, so clearly he wants to be seen.
And trying to talk to people and you know, wave to people on the street. And he passed an intersection and waved at another police car that was waiting at the intersection as well. It's just
and he's getting the crowd.
Okay. Yeah, this is
folks at a bus stop there waving at him as well. And granted, it's going to get a lot of attention because of all the police cars that are coming up behind him. And
they're going this slowly. Why don't they just do a pit maneuver if they find a wide berth of space there?
Oh, I'm sorry. He's at Ventura Boulevard, and that's a good question. I could only guess, Ellen, because there are certain protocols. Pit maneuvers are very dangerous because it throws a number of vehicles basically not out of control, but the police officer's car is going to swerve, his car is going to swerve. He also has the top down, which could make it exceptionally dangerous in case the car tips over. Plus, he's barely moving.
Yeah.
If they tried the pit maneuver and he's only going 2 or 3 miles an hour, it would take him 1 or 2 feet to stop. The vehicle. There's not a lot of momentum.
Peace sign there.
Rita, what did you say? He's going. Oh, that's the intersection. Louise, that's Ventura Boulevard and Louise, still in Encino, I believe. And there he is with the victory sign.
With any luck, he doesn't have a tank full of gas, because this could go on for hours at this rate of speed.
Well, it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is interesting, to say the least, trying to get to the bottom of what we're seeing here and why he's doing it. Clearly nobody else is in the car with him. We don't know a whole lot about this person. Perhaps the police do, because as Bill Thomas pointed out, the police have received some phone calls from people who know him.
We didn't see them earlier, but now they're starting to block traffic and break traffic from getting on in front of him. Right. And it's almost as if they are organizing a parade. This is the way they typically organize parades. That's what this is very reminiscent of. This is not like any police pursuit that I can recall. I'm at a loss with this one.
Well, you wonder why he just didn't wait until the Doodah parade in Pasadena. He could have been just as effective with that. But a lot of people coming out. One gentleman came out off the sidewalk there, tried to talk to him and walk alongside the car as well. And we are in not in Studio City. We'd be where? Sherman Oaks right now, aren't we?
Still Sherman Oaks, yeah. I mean, he's not breaking any speed records here, so he's just literally at a turtle's pace, crossing, we just passed Noble.
Yep, okay, now we come up, obviously, to Van Nuys Boulevard there as he continues down
crawling
Ventura.
up to the red light.
Well, now he's
got
getting
the red
even
light.
larger
He's crawling
crowd
up
here.
to it. We do have reports that at one point he did run some red lights. But as long as we've been over him, he seems to have stopped for each red light. And
there's a red light there, so we'll see what he does. Yeah,
it's red right here, and if history is any indication here, he'll continue through. Well, here he is going through the red light. So here we go.
Red light, so there's
now
another
he's racking up the traffic infractions as well. But up until now, it kind of seemed like he's been obeying the lights, but that just went out the window, or out the convertible, I guess.
Aptly put there. We're going to continue to follow this until it. No. Somebody thinks he's going to stop him. Look at this. This is crazy.
Unstable individual who may indeed bring this pursuit to an end by himself. But you can see more people now entering the boulevard. And this is where it gets a little bit dangerous. Now you have officers with their guns drawn. And now you have. This is incredible. Somebody now tackling this guy onto the hood of an LAPD patrol car.
Wow.
Officers with their guns drawn. Obviously, another unstable individual. I mean, this is just unbelievable. You have one unstable individual, now two people under arrest after a slow-speed pursuit, the likes of which we have not seen here, as far as I can remember. This is just totally bizarre. Now two people under arrest, one person doing everybody a favor by bringing this pursuit to an end, but not the way anybody would anticipate, and certainly not the way LAPD would encourage for anybody to behave, especially in the middle of Ventura Boulevard traffic. So now you have a little bit of a crowd forming. They're going to try and keep people on the sidewalk. But if we can, I don't know if we're able to roll that tape again. That was incredible to see another clearly unstable individual. Not sure if this is a homeless man, but he appears to be clearly under the influence of something as well. Walking in front of traffic, walking in front of this convertible. You saw the driver in the convertible put his hands up at that point as he was sitting in the driver's seat, and then almost as if that unstable individual in front of the car was making a citizen's arrest, he just tackled him onto the hood of the LAPD cruiser. And Chuck, Carolyn, I'm at a loss for words. This is
I haven't seen anything. I'm standing next to Fritz Coleman. I don't know how many of these we've watched, Fritz. I've never seen anything like this.
I mean, my pilot, Alex Krewall, and myself are both on the edge of hysterics here, cracking up. This is just incredible to watch, and you got to admit, I mean, it brings a smile to your face to see all of this, commotion going on down there. But certainly, police were faced with a decision there, and they had an opportunity to bring it to an end, and they did just that without anybody getting hurt.
Well, it's interesting that the citizen was cuffed. He is in that Ford, that vehicle, the black and white unit. They've taken him away. They've taken the other guy away. And then another officer got in the Mustang, which we're presuming it's a Mustang, and then drove it over to the side of the road there. Now we got all these people out.
Yeah, and more LAPD units arriving out here now. You now have a crowd building, and they don't want to see that either. We've seen situations where, a restless crowd could, get out of hand, even though they're just kind of watching and taking pictures. The LAPD, I think, is going to try and clear Ventura Boulevard as soon as possible, get a tow truck out here to get this Mustang out of here, and hopefully business can resume as normal on a Friday night, or as normal as they can be on Ventura Boulevard.
Heck of a way to start the Memorial Day weekend, isn't it?
I tell you, this is a new one on me, Chuck. Again, you see more LAPD units arriving. The priority has to be, now there you see the other individual now with his hands cuffed behind his back, and he'll be taken into custody as well. And it'll be very interesting to see what charges he may possibly be faced with. I don't want to presume anything, but it's certainly...
Well, he could be charged with interfering. There's a charge with interfering with officers in a pursuit. Yep. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I know there is something when you interfere with law enforcement.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's definitely, on one hand, he's definitely broken some rules here, but on the other hand, he's kind of the hero of the hour for saving us from a prolonged slow-speed chase that could have gone well into Burbank. I mean, this was just... It was just so unpredictable, not knowing what was going through that driver's mind and what his intent was.
All right, we do have breaking news. We're following a pursuit in Norwalk.
Let's go up to Mark Kono in Sky 5. Mark?
Yeah, Lou and Glenn, good afternoon, everyone here. He's just around the bend here coming in towards, well, let's see, the Downey area here. Southbound side of the 605 freeway transition to the westbound 105. Technically, they are in surveillance mode, so they are letting the helicopter do all the tracking here. This guy has been doing some wild things here, driving very erratically, driving very fast, and maneuvering in and out of traffic, causing very, very dangerous situations for other commuters on the road. And so for that reason, they have kind of backed off here. But occasionally he will come up on slower traffic, allowing the units to get closer up to him. But technically they are, ooh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's going to be fishtailing, and he might actually lose control of this vehicle at some point here. We understand this is going to be a burglary suspect, a 459 suspect, now traveling through Downey, through Lakewood Boulevard there along the westbound side of the 105 freeway here. Sky 5 HD is your only source of coverage for this high-speed pursuit on the 105 freeway westbound. 105 freeway westbound. Now, we understand that this pursuit initiated out of the Cerritos area here, and was on surface streets for a while. Came up the 605 freeway up towards, let's see, he got off on Florence, was on surface streets for a while, then got back on the southbound 605 to the west 105, and that is where we are at this point right here. So just passing Lakewood Boulevard, this fast-moving vehicle here. Again, the units are having some difficulty keeping up with him. Again, technically they are calling this as a situation where they are in surveillance mode because of the exceedingly dangerous situations that he is putting the public in. So they are tracking this guy by the air. They are tracking him on the ground too. The closest ground units, and there are several that are in tow of this vehicle here, are, well, I'd probably say an eighth of a mile back here. You can see how fast this guy is going. Sky 5 HD, we're pulling max power here, and we're just barely able to keep up with him at this point, so he is on the gas. We are going to be approaching Paramount Boulevard. In fact, we're just blazing past Paramount Boulevard right there, and now heading over towards the 710 freeway, and it looks like he's making efforts to pull over to the right lane. My goodness, I mean, imagine that. I mean, someone driving this fast, passing you up when you're doing maybe 55, 60, 65, and this guy's easily doing 100 miles an hour here. So westbound on the 105 freeway, just now crossing over the 710, and that is where we are right now. We'll be entering the Linwood area here on the 105 freeway. Again, fast-moving guy, westbound side of the 105 freeway. His first opportunity to exit is going to be over at Long Beach Boulevard. I can tell you just by looking ahead, he is coming into an area of slower traffic. It's not too bad. It's just a little bit of slow and go. Moderate conditions. It's not like it's a parking lot on the 105 freeway westbound, but he is going to be encountering some slower traffic as we approach Long Beach Boulevard in the next half mile or so. Now, we understand a burglary initiated out of the Cerritos area. That is our best information at this time. I don't know how many suspects. Okay, here he goes, making a move over to the right. If he continues on this track, he has an opportunity to exit the freeway in about 1/4 of a mile here. Westbound 105 coming up on Long Beach Boulevard. That'll put him right in the heart of Linwood here. Let's see what he does here. He's coming up to the top of the off-ramp. He can always get off on Long Beach Boulevard or stay on the 105 freeway here. So let's see what he does. He's just now coming up on the off-ramp. Okay, it looks like he's going to commit. Okay, slower traffic. Look out, dude. Okay, he's getting by some slower traffic here. At the bottom of the off-ramp here, it looks like he may have a green light because I see opposing traffic or cross traffic ahead stopped. And so now they're going. So he's coming up on a red light. Okay, look out. Okay, northbound Long Beach Boulevard here. He made the turn, and just barely. The cross traffic, the light just turned green, and he just scooted ahead of them as they were crossing into the intersection there. But you kind of see the type of driving that this guy is showing us here. Again, we don't know how many people are in the car, male, female, anything like that. We'll try and get that information as it comes to us. But you see those windows are pretty blacked out at this point. It's a dark-colored sedan, and we are just trying to make our way through. Okay, hang on. Here we go. He's in a parking lot, and Sheriff's helicopter is right above him. And so we don't know, it's some sort of a retail outlet here, but he's just on the north side. He's just exited the parking lot here, but you can get an idea of what this guy is doing. Let me send it back down to you for a second.
All right,
Okay,
Mark
50,
Kono,
1.2.
thank you. If you're just joining us, this pursuit of a driver erratically driving high speeds. Right now, he's in some sort of shopping parking lot here, but we have seen him driving on two freeways, the 605 and the 105 at high speeds. We have a little bit of a freeze on the camera here, but this guy apparently was initiated out of Cerritos from a burglary call, and we have been following him here. A lot of the following is from the sky, not on the ground as of right now. It was sort of a monitoring situation, but he has gone through intersections. We saw him cross through with pedestrians and cyclists. He's crossed over at least 5 lanes at one point on the 105, and Mark Kono even said exceeding 100 miles per hour at times.
Yeah, after the 105, he actually got on the 710 and then made an exit onto Long Beach Boulevard going northbound. And then he's been zigzagging, through this parking lot. Now he's back on the street and back under another freeway again. I assume that's probably the 710.
I think he's on a one-way.
He was on a one-way, and now he's turned on another side street. And a lot of times, they'll head back to an area they're familiar with. I'm not so sure in this case that he's really familiar with where he is at. What is interesting, though, is he continues to drive at a high rate of speed when there's no patrol cars that appear to be following him. They're just monitoring the situation from the air. So he must be aware somehow that there was a helicopter above him, and as you see, he just zipped by a pedestrian there. Let's go back up to Mark Kono in Sky 5. Mark, he just seems like he's driving in circles
guys.
here.
We are basically in Linwood. We are in Linwood on the south side of the 105 freeway here. He was going through the parking lot of the Food for Less right near the Plaza Mexico, and that's right off the 105 freeway for those of you who know the area here. But he went through the parking lot of Plaza Mexico, exited on State Street, went south, crossed over the 105 freeway, and now we are on the south side of the 105 freeway. He's put himself into a cul-de-sac. Where now he is basically going the other way. He is going to be able... Oh, okay, let's see what he does. He's parking. Foot bail. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's follow. Okay, here we go. What did he... Okay. We've got 3 guys, and we have just seen that he tossed something into the car that he parked in front of. So 3 suspects on the loose in a cul-de-sac, and the LA County Sheriff's Department airship is overhead. The first ground unit is also now approaching. The additional units I can see on a parallel street are also coming in, so they are going to be able to pinpoint these guys here in very short order. We certainly hope at the very least here. So, okay, there's that guy. He's running across. The Sheriff's Department is just swarming this area here. I can tell you at least half a dozen units are just coming around the area here, and they are hopefully going to be able to nail these guys. I can see that they are in foot pursuit with at least one of the guys here on the east side of Long Beach Boulevard here. This guy is still on the loose, and this guy appears to be the driver, so let's see what he does as he tries to evade capture here. But the Sheriff's Department helicopter is overhead. He's actually in a residential neighborhood alongside of a home, and that's going to be right on the east side of Long Beach Boulevard, right near Louise Street. So this is all happening here where this guy is in the backyard now of a home, climbing walls, trying to get to the next house on the next block over here. But as we come around, we're going to try and pinpoint this guy and his location here. It's always a little bit difficult when we have buildings and trees, but again, the Sheriff's Department is following the driver. There he is. You can see he's starting to tire out a little bit there. So, okay, as he comes out into that alley, out of that driveway, he's just going to come across the Sheriff's Department vehicle, and he is going to give up. That is your smartest move, guy. Look at that. There's the driver in custody. So you cannot get away from these guys. These guys are really, really good at what they do, and no small part taken up by the LA County Sheriff's Department helicopter overhead, who was able to guide these guys into the right home. Guys, let me send it back to you for just a moment.
Mark, what about the other 2 suspects? I mean, we saw 3 of them run out of the vehicle. It's hard, I know you can only stay on one of them, but any information on the other 2?
I've got you there. Okay.
All right, Mark,
these guys. Yeah, we've got a couple of helicopters who are coming inbound. You are only going to see this pursuit here on KTLA. Sky 5 HD has the exclusive with all of this coverage here, but this is going to be the driver here. We understand there were at least two more outstanding. I did see one that was being taken into custody. We presume that the third might have been taken into custody. We'll try and move over to that location as soon as this guy gets placed into the patrol car there. So let's go to the left ridge, go to Long Beach Boulevard, and then we'll tilt up Long Beach Boulevard and stay to the left into that cul-de-sac right there where the airship is. And so we believe that at least one of those guys is going to be in custody over here. Now, the vehicle that they were traveling in is going to be just right there, that dark-colored Nissan. And you can see at the playback of the video there that one of the people who got out of the vehicle put something into that SUV or that van in front and then ran off, and that was at that point they were able to catch him. But not sure about the other two suspects, but we believe that at least the one is going to be taken into custody here. But this is all happening just on the south side of the 105 freeway right here at Long Beach Boulevard here, where three suspects were giving the LA County Sheriff's Department a real fit while they were being pursued out of Cerritos this afternoon, guys.
All right, Mark Kono, thank you for that coverage from Sky 5. We will, of course, will have more details on this pursuit that you've watched with us here for the last few minutes in about 30 minutes on the 1 o'clock newscast. We hope to see you then.
They've captured 2 out of the 3. We'll see what happens with the third one.
So the few tidbits we picked up from LAPD officers, possible DUI suspect, a possible media stunt, but at this point that guy in that green Ford convertible just waving to folks as he drives down Reseda Boulevard. Some folks are gathering on the corners. They've heard about this thing, so they're coming outside waving right back at him. Fortunately, it's going along at very slow speed, so it's not exactly a danger to the community right now. If he makes a little bit of a turn, LAPD officers, I'll show you their proximity to the car right now. We'll open up the shop for you just a bit.
That was a great idea. Clearly, nobody else did, and they were arrested eventually. I can't recall if they served some time for that, but they definitely have gotten a lot of trouble. 101 near Sunset is where that happened,
right.
I'm being told by Joe. In our ear.
And he could have gotten on the freeway. Thank goodness he chose to just stay on these surface streets and continue the slow.
Good shot of his sign right there. It says Victory Parade, and as we've been watching him, and he's waving to people, but with a victory sign, saying hello.
Prime position. If they see that guy try to make a turn, they can move right in. These pit maneuvers work very well at or under 35 miles per hour, where a cruiser will come up with their push bar, and they'll approach the rear quarter panel of the vehicle as he goes into that turn and try to spin him out of control.
Yeah, Bill, very odd pursuit. This is one of the stranger ones we've seen. And you're right, it could be a media stunt, but we just don't know. But it seems like he's at least following some of the rules of the road.
Well, he's going way under the speed limit, but
true.
Yeah, granted, this one is far less dangerous than other pursuits that we have seen. And it does beg the question, does this person have some weird objective here, or is he unstable? or something in between. You know, it does bring to mind, remember that stunt on one of our major freeways, I think it was the 405 even, when that rock band got out and did a quick concert on their freeway, on their bus, and stopped traffic, and they thought anybody who will give him attention. It's you know, when somebody has this objective, you wonder when do they decide to start it. I'm going to begin at so-and-so place. I'm going to go for so-and-so long, and then just keep on going. His top is down, so clearly he wants to be seen.
And trying to talk to people and you know, wave to people on the street. And he passed an intersection and waved at another police car that was waiting at the intersection as well. It's just